Welcome back to FastMonty's Garage. Last episode we put in this killer Wilwood parking brake caliper and had to do some modifications as usual. And today I'm going to continue the Wilwood trend with a new master cylinder and proportioning valve. I cannot wait. It's been long overdue. Those of you guys that have seen my engine compartment or have been following the channel know that I've been slowly eliminating chrome parts off my engine bay. And I'm excited to get rid of this master cylinder because it's all chrome and stepping up to a legit proportioning valve. Is it going to fit? Is another good question. We're going to find out. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We just finished mini tubbing my 69 GTO, putting in a Currie full floating axle, and I have not been on the road yet. So I have to bleed the brakes anyway. So that's why I decided to do the master cylinder now too. One less time bleeding in my life. So that's the plan. Now, if I've ever helped you out in the past, consider getting a hat. There's also shirts available. One of my favorites right here on my back. Links are below, or join the Full Monty Club right down there. All proceeds go to help the channel, buying parts, me making more videos, making more mistakes. You guys learn faster. So let's get started. The first step here is we need to remove the original master cylinder and mock this up to make sure it fits. Cross everything you have two of. Well, almost everything. Let's go. This is what I was afraid of. Check this out. It looks like this is going to hit the fender. Well, only one way to find out. Let's take this guy out, get to work. I hope this works. I don't want to use this one anymore. Okay, something else to keep in mind when you mock this up. This plunger adapter goes in the bore, and when you put it on here, you do not want it to preload off of this plunger. So be particularly, pay attention to how it fits. Until right now, there's about an 1/8 inch gap, so I have to shave that adapter an 1/8 inch so it's not preloaded. But here's the main issue we were talking about. That is touching the fender. Granted, I'm not all the way seated, but that is a problem. I have to think about this. Okay, problem number one, solved. Look at that. I took it out, laid it on its side, and I put pressure on the proportioning valve to bend these lines. I had these super tight, so it wouldn't do any damage internally. And I also paid attention to make sure we didn't pinch these small lines, because it's the last thing we want to do. But that's good. Now, these lines, I got to figure out how to get this one back here. That's the front, and then the back one goes here. So I think I'm going to take some measurements, mark it on a piece of tape, and then pull these lines and start bending them on the bench. Oh, fun. I know it's tough to see, but here's my final result. And keep in mind, I know the best solution to do here is actually cut the tube, rebend the tube, reflare the end of the tube. But this is stainless steel. If you don't have the proper equipment, you can easily mess it up. So I went the bending route. I put this on my workbench. I taped an outline, and then I found out it's 4 inches a difference. So I started bending with my tube bender until I got that, made up that 4 inches, and test fitted a couple times. It came out great. I did the same for the back line. The back line only needed 2 inches of difference, but we are in. Now the next step, since we modified the location or the bend here, there's a bracket that goes on the back side to keep this in place, because what you don't want is this vibrating around. It will cause fatigue cracks in these lines. So we're going to do our best to add that brace back. But to do that, we got to take this out again, mock it up, mock up the bracket, make some adjustments to the bracket, and figure out how to do it. Let's go. So since we turned it, well, like 30 degrees, this bracket was made for 90 degrees, obviously, but it has built-in bolts, built-in nuts, which I'd like to utilize. So in order to pick up off that back bolt hole, We would have to rotate it about that much, and it will interfere on the bottom right there. So we're gonna have to trim it to use one hole. So I'm just gonna cut it right through here and see if we can pivot like that, use that hole. It almost fits perfectly. Notice I have the big washer, these little standoffs that came with the kit, pretty thick, like 200 thousandths. And so I got one in there, and you can tell that the hole doesn't quite line up. So I went ahead and scored it, and I will probably take my die grinder bit and try and relieve some of that hole so we can get our bolt through. There's our score mark. Worked brilliantly, so I can go ahead and relieve that hole some more, and we have plenty of surface area still to bolt against. Here's the bit I was referring to. It's actually called the standard cut burr. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stuff removed. All right, bigger slot. There we go. Let's see if it fits. Ah, yeah, it's fitting perfect. I love it. This is super sturdy. I don't know if you can see it in there, but the washer is in between our flange and our mounting plate, and it is super sturdy. I even double checked that I can easily screw in each brake line, because after we bench bleed this, we're going to bring it over full of oil. You want to make sure that's easy to do. If you're misaligned at all, it makes it super difficult, which is, you know, part of the game, but that's how you can make it easy on yourself. And then this guy here, this is a brake switch. It's optional. So I'm going to take it off, and I believe you can put a 1/8 NPT plug in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that after I take this off again, because we still have to tackle that plunger. You guys remember that gap we had with the plunger installed? Take your calipers out and try and get a measurement of that gap. There we go. What do we got? What do we got? About 75 thousandths. So now let's measure that pin and figure out what our target dimension should be. All right, I rounded up that gap to 75 thousandths and taken a measurement of the current pin, 1/620. Our target now is 1/545. So my plan is to just grind this flat until we're at our target. No, but I have to think of, how do I come up with a mimic tool of that radius? I found a washer. It's almost perfectly the same diameter, and I assume that's the same radius. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out that shape, trace that circle.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, got my flat spot. 143. Too much. Whatever. So now I get to play with our template. This should be fun. Ah, yeah, look at this. Boop. I'm gonna go test fit it. All right, final mock-up, and everything's fitting great. There's a little bit of slack in the pedal, so depending on your pedal assembly, you can actually go check to see that you have a little bit of gap there. That proves that the pin we modified fits perfectly. And I also did like a speed test to see how fast I can install it with the brake lines, because once we bleed this, it's going to want to leak, so you don't want to take your time when we do that step. And speaking of that step, that'll be next episode. I figure it'd be best just to have a dedicated episode to bleed master cylinders because it's universal, whereas this episode was obviously some modification by Monty. And yeah, so I can't wait to run it. And next episode, we're going to bleed the master cylinder. So subscribe if you haven't, and you know the drill. Build them fast, drive them faster. See ya.